Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So I'm going to show you this video here, and then another video from another Michael Jackson YouTuber type of person, to show you that I deal with any evidence that people could put out there. I'll deal with it, and not only can I deal with it, I can overcome it with better evidence that's actually more in detailed of the real life story of what's going on. One of the things about doing this is this takes time. And what happens is a lot of people, they don't like to watch videos and have people explaining things that take time. It's hard for me to get people to watch stuff like this. They don't like actually seeing what a proper investigation, what it actually entails. It's like, well, I've got to show you alternate evidence and different theories and stuff. And that's what it just takes time. So let's go ahead and get into this and stuff. And here, let me show you this, because people, what they think is, one of the reasons they say that Michael Jackson can't be the son of Diana Ross is because they say that, oh, well, Diana Ross and Michael Jackson had a known love affair. They had something going on, right? But I've proven that no. What you do is you hear some things that don't actually prove anything. All you do is you hear a little thing in here or there, but it's not actual proof. And now I'm going to show you that these are the kind of things out there that are out there, that these are things I have to overcome.
Michael and I, we're in love, and there's nothing to do about it. There's nothing to say.
Okay, so that one there was she says, Michael and I are in love. There's nothing you could do about it. Diana Ross saying Michael and her are in love. Now, if Michael Jackson's her actual son, and he's actually the son of Smokey Robinson, who I've got Diana Ross claiming to be her first love. You have to understand that that's the love child of Smokey Robinson. So Diana Ross, the way she looks at him, it's a different thing. Then you've got to understand that Michael Jackson, he knew who Diana Ross was. She was a star before he finds out when he's about 10 years old that Diana Ross is his mother. So Michael Jackson already would have had a built-up infatuation for Diana Ross. Then what happens is when they get together and they start hanging out because Diana Ross is trying to make up for all of the lost time, they end up, it looks like they have a relationship that people are thinking they're making up their own minds, but it is a real love relationship. It's serious because she is actually his mother, and people are just misinterpreting what they're seeing. They don't actually understand what it is they're seeing, but because of that, these are very famous people, and they have to cover this up. They can't tell people, this is a thing that's happening, and they're not telling the world what's actually going on there. They have to lie to the media, but they have to do it in a tricky way, That's how come you hear these words come out the way they do, and they say things, but it's not actually they're not saying it with proof and backing it up. It's just things that come out because they have to cover up the lie. There is the lie that's out there that she's actually the mother, and so they have to cover that up, and they don't know how to do all these things, and because of that, there's weird things that come out, And so this is another one. It says, it's Diana Ross. I love her. Do you mean as a big sister? No, that's not what I mean. See, I told you that you wouldn't take me seriously. And the guy says, you're not saying you'd like to marry Diana Ross, are you? And see, the other guy's the one that said that, right? That's not Michael. You're not saying you'd like to marry Diana Ross, are you? So the other guy insinuates that, right? And then he says, oh yeah, I'm saying that. But he didn't say that. He just said, oh yeah, I'm saying that. Okay, he didn't say that. He didn't even say that, right? So right there, Michael didn't say, I think I've heard him. It's tricky when you hear him talk. It's weird. It's a weird way in which it comes out. It doesn't come out in which the real way of what these people are projecting it to say. And if this stuff was true, there would be much more evidence out there to back it up, and it's not there. All of the evidence backs up what I'm going to show you, the real stuff. Okay, so he says, oh yeah, I'm saying that. And the guy says, but she's much older than you. You mean you feel something other than close friendship for her? Uh-huh. And what does, Michael says, uh-huh. That's all he says. And he says, and what does age have to do with it, Look at it this way. How old would you be if you didn't even know how old you were? So it's like, what's he saying? It's just mumbo jumbo. It's just stuff. It's not really saying anything, right? Because there's no real evidence to prove that they had any real relationship. All you're getting is this stuff saying we're in love with each other and you like to marry, yeah. But I'm going to show you why the marry thing, why Michael will allow himself to say that. And I'm going to show you why he'll allow himself to say that. So, in the Oprah interview, there's a lot in this thing, right? So I can't show you everything, but let's get into it a little bit here. And first of all, I'm going to show you one thing really quick too. That's something, because there's a lot of people too, like there's a lot of people saying, like there's people that think Michael is satanic, and there's the Aleister Crowley guy, and people make videos about Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk because Aleister Crowley says you got to learn how to do things backwards and stuff. And so I agree that Michael probably did study some Aleister Crowley stuff, because Michael Jackson, in the process of being an entertainer, it's also part of it's magic, it's a show, it's theater. Okay, so Michael Jackson, trying to be the greatest entertainer of all time, he also will, he'll bring on the magic, the stuff of theater and magic. Those kind of things are interesting to him. And there's a lot of things he does that are weird and stuff, that are like serious, but I know he's into the magic and the theater, so he could be the greatest entertainer. But there's things that he does, like that stuff I can explain away and stuff too. But there's even things that he does that I don't like, that I really am not sure exactly what is this about. Is it like is it trying to appeal to the white culture? This is the kind of things, the kind of stuff I'm not sure exactly what he was doing. It's like by his clothes, and I'm going to show you his shirt here. His clothing and stuff, a lot of his clothing has very military like symbolisms, and a lot of it has like Nazi symbolisms and too. It's and occult symbolisms. It's weird stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with Michael Jackson's clothing. So this one specific, and remember, this is a huge interview, and he wears this shirt. This is a shirt he's worn before in other, I know he wears it in other videos so you can see it and stuff. But so this shirt that he's wearing there, what I want you to see here is this is a Hitler Youth uniform, okay? And if you look on the Hitler Youth uniform, you'll see that kind of a shirt, and you'll see here on the armbands, they have these badges, things, whatever they wear, up here on the shoulders, okay? And then they have the Nazi band on the armband, the Nazi armband, okay? So it's got the things on the shoulder and the one band on the one arm. And so when you see Michael Jackson's shirt here, it totally, it's like the Hitler Youth shirt. It definitely is you see my dad's, see, this is the other thing, okay? Okay, hold on, quiet. So this is the other thing too. So like people, it's like, I try and make these videos as best I can and stuff, and I put in the best evidence. It takes time and stuff, but when I'm going to be doing this, I only have like a little bits of time when my dad's in bed and I have my own personal time and stuff, but usually that's late at night. I'm freaking exhausted. By the time like I'm done taking care of my dad, and my dad's got Alzheimer's and he's deep into it now and stuff, right? So like what it requires, the actual effort I have to put forward to freaking take care of him today, it's exhausting. It's mentally and physically exhausting. It's extremely difficult, and I still have to try and do my Michael Jackson story, and all I get is slammed. So I don't get any like people encourage me. I don't get much of that. I get slammed, I get yelled at, I get insulted and stuff, right? All the while I'm dealing with the realities of the physical and mental exhausting that's taking place in my personal house. Then I have to come out here and try and do this, and I get freaking attacked. It's exhausting. And then, so I try and make these videos like best I can. There was a part where I just said, I can't do it anymore. This was like 9 months ago. I saw the thing the other day where I was like, I can't do this anymore, because what was happening was I was covering up the fact that I was taking care of my dad. And he started interfering in my videos so much that like this, I'd be trying to make a good video like this, and then 10 minutes into it, bam, my dad starts making noises and ruin the video. So I was dealing with a lot of that. So but then I just went ahead and exposed that, hey, look at, this is what's taking place. My dad's right here with me, and he's going to be doing weird noises and stuff like that will start to happen and stuff, and sometimes I have to stop him because it gets so much out of control, okay? But this is the stuff I have to deal with. I don't have any way around it. This is all I can do. I have to try and do my best with the story, but I have to deal with the realities of my real world and stuff, and I have to get attacked by everybody. Nobody helps me. Nobody cares. I've literally begged all of the Michael Jackson fans out there, just It's like, dude, you don't need to agree with anything I'm saying. Just look at my video and give me your opinion. I literally never one time could I ever get anybody that was any form of a big quality Michael Jackson fan. They all knew who I am. I went after all of them. None of them, not one single time did any of them ever come back and try and have a rebuttal against any of the videos I made about Diana Ross being Michael Jackson's mom. The only people you get that do stuff, they don't ever rebut my work. They just keep doing the same stuff what they're doing. They're saying, no, look at him. Diana Ross is in love with Michael Jackson. They just keep doing their stuff. And it's like, I completely debunk your stuff. My stuff overrides your stuff. And will they dare challenge? They don't ever challenge my stuff. They just keep doing what they do. And it's like, this is the world I got to live in. How is it possible that I can't get a Michael Jackson fan to look at my work and just tell me, okay, well, what's your opinion? They literally wouldn't do it. All of them. I could start going through all their names and tell you all the experiences. It's brutal. It's like, how is that freaking possible? I've been doing this on this page now for almost 3 years, and I still haven't had one Michael Jackson fan dare to even attempt to debunk my work. They never dare to attempt to debunk what I'm doing. They just keep saying what they're doing, and they think that does it. It's like, you don't do anything. I've debunked it. I've overridden your fucking facts with hardcore evidence. They don't deal with it. What the fuck am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to live in this world with these people that are like that? Should I even care about trying to freaking bring justice and truth to fucking our society when this is the kind of shit I got to deal with? Jesus Christ. So look at, when I show you as you go here, you could look at the shirt on yourself and see how it recognizes a Hitler Youth uniform. And it's one of those things that's weird about Michael Jackson, things he did and stuff. And it's like, things I'll accept anything and stuff, right? And with him wearing the Hitler Youth, I would think in my head it looks more like of a thing that would be of a pedophile. But what I'm going to show you in this video, the stuff, it's like, if Michael was ever having sex with anybody, once you get to the point where he gets into the fake marriage with Lisa Marie, Michael would have had some form of sexual experiences in his life. If he's either a pedophile or if he was with Diana Ross. But when I show you the video here where he's marrying Lisa Marie, you can clearly see, stop, and in this, you can clearly see what the real issue of Michael Jackson is, that he is a virgin, and he completely and totally acts like a virgin. And when you understand the reality of that, when he was 10 years old, he's informed by Diana Ross that he was actually an abandoned baby. Then you had Diana Ross coming over and take all the influence. Michael didn't get to progress. His natural progression through his teenage years was hindered because he was dealing with the Diana Ross stuff. He's dealing with Joseph Jackson trying to control him and stuff. He's dealing with all of the women wanting to come after him, but he's like, I'm an abandoned baby, and what's going on here and stuff, right? So there's all that. That's the reality of what he had to deal with, which leads Michael Jackson into the life of a virgin. That's what you're actually seeing. So here, let's go ahead and get into this.
Do not read the tabloids, please. It's crazy.
So right there too, Michael telling you, don't read the tabloids. And so he'll lie his ass off. He'll say anything he wants to do, and then he'll come out and act like, oh, I'm the sweetest good little boy. Don't read the tabloids and stuff. And it's like, he's just lying to you. He's lying to you. And he doesn't want you specifically to read the tabloids because the tabloids are willing to print stories that are not like as credible as what the major news media and stuff. They have laws and stuff and guidelines of what they do, but the tabloid's willing to take a chance and say, well, could this be possible? So that's why he's saying don't read the tabloids, because if there is the truth that ever does come out, it's probably more likely going to come out through some form of a tabloid type of magazine.
Do you go out? Do you date? Yes. Who do you date?
Okay, first, like there sounds, see how easy it is for him to say yes. That's a programmed answer. Do you go out? Do you date? Now, we all clearly understood what Oprah's asking him there, just like, do you have sex with women? That's really what she's like. Any girls out there? That's really, but when Michael, yes. Okay, see how easy it is? A yes. But now when she presses him on it, watch how his mind wanders. He doesn't know how to tell lies. Lies are not so easy to tell. Now when she presses him on it,
well, right now it's Brooke Shields.
Okay, right now it's Brooke Shields. This interview is in 1993. So now I'm going to go over here and show you. This is Brooke Shields on the Jim and Sam show. This is very much more recently. And Brooke Shields is... She tells a lot about her Michael Jackson friendship. This is a really good interview. If people want to see a really good interview about Brooke Shields on the Jim and Sam show, it's incredibly good because what you'll see is that Brooke Shields lived and what you'll see is that Michael Jackson, like with Brooke Shields, she was a child star. Michael Jackson with Elizabeth Taylor, a child star. A lot of those people that Michael Jackson hangs out with in his life are these child stars, like Macaulay Culkin. Same type of thing, but Michael, he was actually a kid. But Michael had a very much of a fondness for child stars that were raised in this industry, and you'll see a lot of his closest friends actually had done that thing. If people don't know, it's like Elizabeth Taylor, she was actually a child star. She goes all the way back. Same thing with Brooke Shields, Macaulay Culkin. These are people who grow up in the industry. They have a very unique connection that a lot of people don't have, and then they're able to keep their secrets because they're all understand of the pressure and the lies that they're dealing with in the media. They have a connection, and that's where Michael's friends come from. It's because they have that connection of being a child star.
You talk about your self-image. This is interesting. I knew this and didn't remember, but you talked about when you were 22 and you lost your virginity to Dean Cain.
Okay, so he's saying Brooke Shields says when she was 22 years old, she lost her virginity to Dean Cain. Okay, so when she was 22, and now she'll explain this too. So where's Michael Jackson? And she talks about how she dated him for so long and how he was so patient. But you can clearly see that Michael Jackson, because she says here, she'll say, Dean Cain, he's the most patient person in the world. Okay, well, what about Michael Jackson and stuff, right? He's not, and then she says she lost her virginity at 22, which she was obviously dating Michael Jackson when she was younger than that. She was going out with him to the award shows before that. She was younger. So the Michael Jackson relationship is not sexual in any way because she doesn't even, it's not even a thought in her mind that, Michael's a sexual thing. It's not. When she want to talk about sex now she goes up and talks about her virginity. She talks about Dean Cain, who is the guy who played Superman there was a TV show. He played Superman.
Superman.
Who since reading this is my new idol. But you said I heard earlier if you had better self-image. What do you?
I think that so.
Now this part is really important because, like I said, what I'm trying to get you people to understand about the connection between like Brooke Shields and Michael Jackson is being raised in being a child star and having to deal with the public. Listen to what the words she says here because it's exactly the same kind of thing about what Michael Jackson would have dealt with. Exactly, and she's telling you she's going to explain it to you. So it's like you don't need to hear it from Michael Jackson because her explanation totally parallels the real life experiences, parts of the experiences of what Michael would have had to deal with.
In my case, with regards to that, it was another tidbit that my mother decided I should put in a book because there's no ramifications of putting in a book that you're a virgin. That'll never come back to haunt you at all.
The thing about books is they don't last.
Yeah, they don't last. People don't read. No. So I was so disconnected from that piece of myself, and yet.
See how she says now she's much older. She's got kids, and she can explain to the best of what was she actually going through. I was so disconnected from that piece of myself. That's what Michael Jackson had to live through. It's exactly the same. That's why this is so important in hearing her talk. If you want to actually understand what Michael Jackson was dealing with, this is like probably the best interview out there.
I was confused because on the one hand, I was sort of America's sweetheart, virgin forever, and that was my responsibility as like a Catholic and as America's sweetheart. And then you've got the real just version of me and not really knowing how to reconcile that. And then sort of this whole body thing. It's like, if I'm Brooke Shields, I should probably look better. That there's that weird kind of, he was we were together forever and he was the most patient human I've probably ever met.
She talked about Dean Cain.
What happened?
2 years.
2 years.
That's patience.
That's Brooke Shields' patience. Anyone else got 3 days with Dean Cain?
It's hilarious and shit, right? So they're laughing about the Dean Cain. He waited 2 years to have sex with you. They're like, oh man, anybody else would have 3 days, That's Brooke Shields' patience. And they laugh about it because it's freaking hilarious. But listen how she's talking about the virgin thing, and then she was talking about like the body dysmorphia. If I'm Brooke Shields, I should probably look better. See what I'm saying? How this perfectly fits the reality of what Michael was doing. He's like, I'm the virgin, you know? I'm America's sweetheart, right? And then he starts to get into the part where he starts to have the acne and he's thinking his nose is big, he's not looking as good. And he's like, if I'm going to be, you know, the star, I'm supposed to look better, right? So he starts having surgeries and everything. But he kept his virginity. It's one thing with him because he was so occupied and stuff, right? He was so occupied and worried about, because he is the abandoned child, he's worried about having sex with the girl and getting her pregnant, and then that resulting in having a child that he can't really be the father of because he's doing all of these things. That's the last thing he wants to do because he knows that he's the result of that, of an abandoned child, that the parents couldn't take care of him. And he knows of all the hardships of what he had to live with in his real life. That's how it gets him to the point where he stays a virgin. That's the reality. This is the real evidence and stuff. So let's go ahead and get back to this Michael Jackson. There's more here I want to show you in this interview.
Well, we try not to just be everywhere and go. It's mostly at home. She'll come over. I'll go to her house.
Okay, so he's talking about Brooke Shields there. That's where we were at. He was talking about dating Brooke Shields. He said, we're not out. Maybe I'll just be out at the house and we'll hang out. He's just talking about a friend. They're just friends. You know, they never had sex. And this is in 1993. And he's still having to refer back to Brooke Shields as the girl that he's dating. And Brooke Shields has already dated Dean Cain for 2 years and then lost her virginity to her. I mean, so Michael Jackson's not involved in any of her real sexual relationships, her love life. Michael's not a part of her love life. This is in 1993, but Michael has such no experience in the real world with a love life that he's having to throw Brooke Shields' name in there. The fact that he threw her name back in there in 1990 shows like, God, dude, you got problems. That's why Oprah's like, frick, are you a virgin? That's what leads up to, because Oprah knew right there. It's like, something's wrong here. Oprah's trying to figure out what it is.
Because I don't like going out in the public. Have you ever been in love? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in love? Yeah. And see how it's like, yes, he's not expanding and stuff. It's like, dude, if you've got real life experiences, it's easy to talk about those experiences, and it's easy to leave out the little details that you need to cover up because the experience is so overwhelming. There's so much there for you to say. But he doesn't have those experiences. They're not present in his life.
With Brooke Shields? Yes, and another girl. And another girl. I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Are you a virgin? How could you ask me that question?
And it's like, so it was so blatantly obvious that something's wrong that in 1993, Oprah Winfrey literally says, are you a virgin? What the hell is wrong with you? Are you a virgin? And Michael does his little, because he can't answer the question, so he does his little stuff.
I just want to know. I want to know. I'm a gentleman. You're a gentleman. I'm a gentleman. So I'm a gentleman. So, okay, I would interpret that to mean that means that you believe that a lady is a lady, and therefore that's something that's private. I mean, you know, shouldn't be spoken about openly. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but, you know, to me it's very personal. So you're not going to answer it. I'm embarrassed. So you're not going to answer it.
Right there, you ain't going to answer it. So this is the one thing. It's like after this encounter, you can see why Oprah then transitioned later on to life to believing that Michael's a pedophile. Because right here, she knew he was full of shit. And she knew something's wrong with him, and he can't even answer a simple question. This is in 1993, you know? He's been a biggest pop star for a long time, you know? He's had all the experiences, hung out with most beautiful women in the world, can't even answer a simple question. All you have to do, like any man would just simply say, oh, of course I'm not a virgin. I mean, come on, get real. And then if she wanted to say, well, who? Well, I don't want to talk about who and stuff. It's like, come on, if you want to go investigate, you want to be a paparazzi and follow me around, you go ahead and do that. I'm going to live my personal life. Obviously, I'm not a freaking virgin. Okay, you want any other questions? That's all. It's simple. He didn't have to say it, like right there. I didn't say anything, but you answered the question. Come on, I'm an adult. I'm a freaking star. Of course I'm not a virgin. Come on, get in the real world. All he had to do was answer, but he couldn't because he doesn't want to lie. It's hard to lie. It's hard to make up stuff because when you make up a lie, it leads to other questions that leads to other lies, and that's why people don't want to lie. And it makes it hard for him. But now what this keeps going on, more here.
Well, we would like to know whether or not there is a possibility that you are going to marry one day and have children. I would feel that my life isn't complete if I do not, because I adore the family life. I adore children, and I adore that whole thing. And I love to. That's one of my dreams, but I couldn't right now because I'm married. I am married, but to my work.
Okay, so in 1990, like, so that's what I'm saying. What his work, like I'm saying, he's so busy, and see how easy it is for him to say, well, I can't right now because I'm married to my work. I'm busy and stuff, right? So that's the way it is. He's lived his life. He's been so busy. He's got all these people that want to hang out with him and stuff, and he's learned how to live his life this way without having any sexual relationships with anybody. There's definitely no sexual relations taking place at this time, and the pedophile stuff, the first allegations start to take place right around this time too. So if Michael Jackson had been like a pedophile and stuff, you would see like the next stage of what I'm going to show you. Things would expose, it would show up in a different way. And so pedophile is a sexual experience. It's sexual experience. And so if he's had any forms of any sexual experiences, things would show up a little bit different when I'm going to get to the next part with the Lisa Marie and stuff. But we're going to keep going on here because there's more here.
I'm married to my music. And it has to be that closeness. In order
See how
to do
real and honest he is? How easy it comes out when you talk about the music?
What kind of woman makes you, I know in the video, wait a minute, no, in the video we're going to see later, we're premiering the real video, but you say that there's a line where you talk about being quenched. So what kind of person does that for you?
Okay, yeah, right there. So, see, when she's asking about the virgin stuff in real life, he couldn't answer any real questions, but you want him to perform and tell you in a song. Watch how easy it is for him to talk about in a sexual freaking context when he's singing this song. See how easy this comes out.
Yeah, Quincy.
Yeah.
Well, Brooke, I've always liked her.
Goes back to Brooke.
I mean, when I was little, I used to stay with Diana Ross.
Okay, so now and then he invokes the name Diana Ross. He says when I was little. So he told you that his relationship with Diana Ross can't be sexual because it started when he was little, when he was living with her, right? So what happens is after she says you're a virgin, he's confused and he's like trying to figure out how am I going to cover this up? She just freaking she exposed me. She asked me if I'm a virgin, right? So then he invokes the name Brooke again, which we know is total BS. And then he invokes the name Diana Ross because she's been his main like go-to, like who can I use to help me get away from this and stuff. So he uses the name Diana Ross because what that does in the real world is Diana Ross is a celebrity. So Michael Jackson talking about Diana Ross in any kind of like that she's beautiful or any kind of way like that, that benefits her as a celebrity. So Diana Ross, it's like one of those things that's like, yeah, well, we don't want you really saying that, but if you have to, well, make me look good because, you know, I want to look good to the public. That's Diana Ross. So she liked that stuff too.
Me and my brothers, we stayed with her for years. I've never said this, I always had a crush on her. He did, yes.
Okay, he always had a crush on her. Now, that's not a lie. Like I said, he knew Diana Ross before he found out that she's his mother. So right there, he can say that. He can actually say, I always had a crush on her, because yeah, Michael Jackson would have had a crush on Diana Ross. She was like one of the most beautiful black women, famous singers out there. When Michael Jackson would have been coming up on the singing scene as a young singer, who would have been somebody out there that would have been a singer that was the most beautiful woman out there? It would have been Diana Ross. So before he finds out that Diana Ross is his mother, Michael had a crush on her. Jim, quiet. Shh, quiet. See, that's another idea. He'll just start rambling, and it's like, man, so it's like, I don't mind. I would talk over the video, but then you guys having to listen to it, it makes it completely so difficult for you to listen to it, because when I hear it back, it's like, God, it's horrible when I'm talking and he's rambling on behind me. Some of it's funny, but then it's just such a distraction and stuff, right? So sometimes I have to tell him stop, but then he'll start banging and stuff. This is what I have to deal with. There's nothing I can do about it and stuff, right? And then it's like, then I lose my train of thought. That was the other thing that would ruin so many of my videos. I would just totally ruin my thought, and it's like, well, shoot, because look, I'm deep into this video. I've got all kinds of stuff. It's like, okay, where am I at and stuff, right? But so We're talking about the Michael Jackson crush on Diana Ross. This is why he invokes her name. She allows him to do it, but like when he says there, I've always had a crush on her. Yeah, that's truthful. He did have a crush on her. But then he found out that she was his mother, and then she starts hanging on him and hugging on him. So the first woman in Michael Jackson's life that actually showed him physical attention was Diana Ross, but it ended up being his mother who had abandoned him. It's a really weird situation of what's occurred here. But you can see it when you know the real story. You can see it actually playing out the way that what I'm saying, the way I explain it. This is actually what's taken place.
I heard too, this was another one of those rumors, that you would propose to Elizabeth Taylor at some point. Elizabeth Taylor is gorgeous, beautiful, and she still is today. Yeah, and I'm crazy about her. Yeah, but did you propose to her? I would like to have. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to have. Same thing with, okay, like so... would you like to marry Elizabeth Taylor? Yeah, he basically said, yeah, I'd like to marry. I'd like to have to propose to her. And he said, too, like, she's still beautiful. She still is to this very day. The reason he had to say that, because she's older now. She's much older than him. And she was beautiful. You know, there's a movie called A Place in the Sun, I think is the name of it. If you want to see a good old Elizabeth Taylor movie. She was beautiful. Elizabeth Taylor, she was a good actress too. I really like Elizabeth Taylor. Okay. And so, but she's much older. But see, Elizabeth Taylor being the star hold on. Elizabeth Taylor being the star she was, and when you're in you want to be desirable, and women love to be complimented. Oh, I love your hair. Oh, you look so good. Women always, that's like part of what female nature, their nature, they like that shit. They really like it, you know? It always like works. It's like, you always can go, and if like you want to sweet talk a girl, just say something nice about, oh, I like that, or I like that. You look good in that, or something. Your hair looks good. Like women, like if I wanted to like hit on girls, that I would go to stores and stuff. One of my little tricks is what I would do is pay attention to their hair, and when they change their hair, they do it different, notice it and give a compliment. Oh, your hair looks good today. I like it that way. Because their girls are always messing with their hair, and they always seeing how it looks this way or how it looks that way. And if you pay attention to that and you notice when they change it, they love that shit. They'll fall in love with you. You want to get a girl, start paying attention to her hair, what she does to it, and compliment her on it. That shit's like gold. You're in. That's the smooth move. You're in. So he's talking about Elizabeth Taylor here, but now in reality, he's definitely not having sex with Elizabeth Taylor, right? We all understand that. He's not having sex with Elizabeth Taylor. They're friends and stuff, but he speaks about her the same way, just as how he speaks about Diana Ross, just how he speaks about Brooke Shields. There's this thing about what goes on, and he's able to invoke the names of those people because those are like his closest friends and stuff. And then those women don't mind when Michael speaks that way about him because it causes them to look desirable to the public and makes them more famous. When Michael Jackson speaking your name, that's good for them. And he's making them look desirable. That's good for them. Okay? That's why they all allow it to happen, and he does it because they allow it to happen too and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth Taylor is here. Liz, can we bring Liz in now? Liz had said that she wanted to be here to hold your hand through this. You don't look like you need your hand held. Hi, Elizabeth Taylor. No. Hi. Have a seat. Thank you.
I want you to see something too right there. When they came up, he gave Elizabeth Taylor a kiss on the cheek, and this is 1993, and he grabbed her hand because they're close friends. And so for him to grab her by the hand, give her a kiss on the cheek, totally common, and it's totally acceptable and normal because there is no sexual relationship. There's nothing about him that he's trying to fake. That's their real, genuine relationship.
Will ever propose to you?
And I never proposed to him.
Never did. What do you think?
Okay, so that's see how she's looking at him. They're playing around and stuff. You know, that's just totally they're playing around. That's their relationship and stuff. Okay, so that's the TV relationship and everything. But now the real world. So this is a primetime interview that Michael Jackson did with Lisa Marie Presley. This is in 1995. This is about a year after he got married. And so what happened is Michael Jackson was called a virgin by Oprah Winfrey in 1993, and then the child pedophile allegations allegations start coming out right around that time. So obviously his publicists are like, dude, you need a woman in your life, right? So when you hear the real story, it's like Lisa Marie Presley, she was married. She was already married. Michael didn't hook up with her because she had got a divorce. He hooked up with her and said, like, divorce your husband. I want you to marry me for publicity reasons. And Lisa Marie went for it because she wanted to be a big star. That's exactly why she did it, because she knew connecting, same thing, by connecting her name to Michael Jackson and making herself seem desirable, that to her seemed like a good plan to progress her life as trying to be a star and stuff, right? Seemed to her like it was a good plan. So she went along with it. But let's look at the simple realities of the real world.
I have some wedding video of the two.
Okay, so we have some wedding videos. See them sitting together? Both of them have their hands folded in their own laps. They're supposed to have been married for a year now. There's never, when you watch this interview, you don't see any contact between them. They're still, because if Michael, you could say like when they got married, you could say, oh, he's innocent when he got married. You can make excuses for that. But after they've been married for a year, this can't still be occurring. Look at how distant and separate. They don't touch each other. They don't look at each other. They have not had sex. And it's clearly to see, because if he had ever had sex with that girl, you would see a different, every man that's had sex with a woman knows that this would be different. And so the other thing, it's like, if Michael Jackson, if he was like a pedophile, that means he would have had sexual encounters. You saw how easily he grabbed Elizabeth Taylor's hand, how natural it was, and gave her a kiss on the cheek. Very natural. But the problem with Michael Jackson being a virgin, there's things here that are not natural. And when you're trying to invoke a real relationship, he has no idea how to have a real relationship. He can't even freaking grab his wife's hand. But now watch here, because this is when they show the video of when they got married.
And I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here. If our director, Roger Goodman, wants to roll it in, we will take you there a year ago, right?
Yes.
Just about
Just see them like, so right here, they're going to say, okay, we're going to show the video of getting married. See, they're just sitting there. Okay. Michael doesn't reach over and grab his wife's hand. Oh, we're going to show our wedding video. Any man in a real world, he would have reached over and grabbed his wife's hand this whole time of, we're going to rewatch our wedding video. He would grab her hand. There would be some kind of emotional connection, but there's not, which clearly shows that 1 year into their marriage, they haven't had sex. And the only way that's possible for Michael to have not had sex with that smoking hot girl in the real world a year into a marriage that they're supposed to have is that he's a virgin. He's not a pedophile. He's a virgin. He's never had sex. He doesn't understand. And now when you see the wedding video, watch how clearly obvious it is that this is a virgin. Because if a guy, like I said, if he was a pedophile, that means he had some sexual encounters. If he had any form of sexual encounters, he would know how to snuggle up to the girl and there would show some affection towards her. It would be much more easier. But what you'll see here is only explained by the one true reality that Michael Jackson's a virgin.
Exactly.
I look like an idiot, I can tell you that.
You don't look like an idiot. You look more like a, no.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes.
Watching.
Okay, so now first, watch how, this is Michael Jackson being married. Okay, his first marriage, and he didn't have a big marriage. They go to it was like in the Dominican Republic or somewhere over there, something like that, right? In this little room. Michael basically never even looks at Lisa Marie. It's incredibly difficult for him to look, and he's chewing on bubble gum. He's got gum in his mouth. Okay, so you're gonna tell me at the time when he says, I'm old-fashioned. You could call me, let's just say I'm old-fashioned, right? He says like, oh no, I think that's private old-fashioned. So you're gonna tell me this guy who's supposed to be caring about women, and he's got old-fashioned morals and stuff, he's gonna be married to this girl in this situation, and he's gonna be chewing on gum? Well, that blows that out of the water. That can't possibly be the reason for why he's acting the way he is. It's something else.
Tell us.
Oh, we're watching.
Chewing on gum.
Tell us. We're watching.
Doesn't look at his wife hardly at all. Doesn't even, they're not even looking at each other. He's ridiculous. Chewing on gum.
In the middle, yes. It's for his autograph.
And when the part comes up, when he says here, because it's really quiet, when he says, I take you to be my wife. He looks at the guy. He doesn't look at her. He can't look at her. I want you to really see when he says like, okay, I take you to be my wife, and he giggles and looks away while he's chewing on gum. Okay, and you're going to tell me that this is the old-fashioned guy with the old-fashioned morals and stuff. You know, it's no. He's a virgin. There's only one thing that could possibly make this happen, because he can't be a pedophile. He can't have had any sexual encounters with any woman in his real life, because he's afraid to even look at this girl, and he's so disrespectful that he's chewing on gum, and he's got her in just some office marrying her, and this is his first marriage that he's supposed to build a family with? Come on!
Right, but now we're out of time.
Congratulations. Congratulations, and then we're going to do the rest. She does first. You put it on her first, okay? And when you put it, you say, with this ring, I do it. Right. And you do the same thing. When you put this ring,
with this ring, I thee wed, turns away from her, never looking into her eyes with love. There's no passion there. There's no sincerity there. And that dude definitely has never had sex with any woman, because there's not even any physical attraction going on. So, like I said, I'll deal with any evidence you put out there in front of me, and I will override it with real evidence and real explanation and details of what the true situation is. Will you ever see anybody try to debunk what I'm doing? Never. They will not dare step into the world of the reality of what's going on. All they'll do is denounce me, block me, laugh at me, make fun of me, and all the bullshit I got to deal with. Why do you think I keep screaming at these Michael Jackson fans that they're fake fans? Because there's no way in the world that Michael Jackson as a human being ever could have had any respect for these fans who just screamed and yelled at him all the time and had no interest of understanding of who that guy really was.